Peace, y'all. It's your girl B from Unto Re, and I'm back with another video. This video is about releasing creative resistance. Okay, we are going to use EFT or emotional freedom technique or tapping to help us release creative resistance. Now, tapping was created in the 1990s using tapping on the meridian or acupressure points to release emotional blocks. It is based in Chinese medicine and requires you to use vocal prompts, like actually saying something while tapping on your body to help your brain shift out of resistance and into a more calming state. Now, studies show that EFT reduces stress and improves emotional regulation. Okay, it does that by sending calming signals to our amygdala. Okay, and our amygdala is the part of our brain that houses our fight or flight response. Okay, so we absolutely want that to be calm. All right, so when you pair the tapping with the emotionally charged phrases, it allows your brain to rewire and form new pathways and new connections. Okay, so if this sounds like something that you can use, I want you to get comfortable and we about to get into it. All right, so first thing you got to do is identify what is actually holding you back. What is that form of resistance that is coming up for you that is stopping you from creating, right? For me, it's always been self doubt, right? Imposter syndrome. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if it's great. And even now, as I create this video, I can feel it in my stomach. I can feel it in the, shoulder, neck area. I can even feel it behind my ears. This pressure that for me lets me know that I'm feeling a little anxious. I am feeling some self-doubt coming up, right? And I want you guys to identify what comes up for you when you're about to create. What form of resistance comes up? Maybe it's self doubt too. Maybe it's perfectionism. Maybe it's fear of judgment or criticism or rejection. Whatever it is, I want you to identify one of those forms of resistance that you want to address with this practice today. And then I want you to rate how is it coming up for you right now? And you don't have to actually tell me or tell yourself where it's coming up in your body. Just rate it. On a scale from 1 to 10, right now, I feel like a 6 on a scale for self doubt. Now, for you and whatever your form of resistance is, figure out on the scale, 1 being, oh, it ain't bothering me, 10 being like, right? Where do you fall on this scale? Okay? After you figure that out, I'm going to walk you through these steps, right? The steps that we're going to walk through together before we actually get into practice so that you can know what the process looks like before we get into it. Sound good? Great. So, before we do the real thing, let's move through the sequence. The first thing you always do is a setup statement, right? So this is like a affirmation that you want to say, that you want to let your mind know that you're about to do some rewiring, baby. You're about to get into some real good work. Okay? And you always do your setup statement as a karate chop. Okay? I actually love that so much. But the karate chop is always where you start and set up, right? Because you are about to chop down that resistance, okay? You about to chop down that block. So you want to have your hand in the karate chop position and you're gonna tap on the meat, right in the middle of the meat. This is an acupressure point or a meridian point. The Chinese know. And they helping us out. They trying to get us right. So this is the first place that you always tap and you say your setup statement or your affirmation to get you going before you move through your tapping. The next place you tap is your eyebrow. And you want to tap right at that beginning point of your eyebrow, right? And it don't matter which side, just whichever one is easier for you, right? But you want to tap right at that tip of your eyebrow. Then you want to move to the side of your eye, and the side of your eye, not up here at your temple, which actually feels good, but that's not what we're doing here. We at the side of the eye, and then you want to go right at the top of the cheekbone and under the eye, right? And after under the eye, you want to go under the nose. And it's actually easier for me to tap with the side of my finger versus the tips because I have nails. And after you go under your nose, you do your chin right in that middle part, in that little crease. Again, if it's easier, you can do the side, the chin, under your bottom lip. And then you have your collarbone. You want to always get at that tip. This is good. I ain't even said no prompts yet. We won't even got no vocal phrases yet. But after that, after your collarbone, you want to go under your arm. Now for ladies, this is like where your bra straps stops. Or for men or women who don't wear bras like me, it's at alignment with your nipple, right? Y'all can see that. And then lastly, top of the head at that soft spot. You know the spot when you be combing or trying to do anything to your head and just go get a little right up there. That's the spot. Okay? So we're going to walk through it one more time before we get into the official practice of releasing the creative resistance today. Okay? So first, setup statement. Chopping away at it. Okay? So you start with the setup statement. Eyebrow. Side eye. Under eye. Under nose. Chin. Collarbone. Underarm. Top of head. Do we got that? Good. Okay, and we're going to move through that process twice. So we're going to do our setup statement, and then we're going to move through it once, and that is going to be our present reality. What's currently coming up for us, right? What am I currently thinking about this form of resistance? And then we're going to move through without the setup statement because we didn't already set it up. We're going to move through it a second time with positive reframing. And if you've been in this course, you know that the reframe game is my favorite game, okay? Because mindset is where all of this begins. It all begins in the mind, okay? So we have to shift and reframe our thoughts in order to get to the place that we want to be, okay? So the first time we do our setup statement and we do a full round of where we are currently with our thoughts. So vocal phrases that actually align with where we are now. And then we're going to move through it again with positive reframing so that we can shift and rewire our thoughts and rewire our mind. Okay? You ready? You can use your own prompts, but I suggest you just repeat after me as we move through this for the first time. And when you do this practice for yourself in the future, you can make it more specific to your resistance. Okay? So let's set it up. I really do love this. All right. Karate chop setup statement. Let's get into it. Even though I feel afraid to create, I deeply and completely accept myself. We're going to say it 2 more times. Even though I feel afraid to create, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel afraid to create, I deeply and completely accept myself. Eyebrow. This fear of putting myself out there is debilitating. Side of I, what if my work isn't good enough? Under I feel stuck and it's frustrating. Under nose, I want my work to be perfect. Chin, this pressure is draining me. Collarbone, what if I allow myself to create freely? Underarm, I release the fear that's holding me back. Top of head, I choose to create, I choose to trust my creative process. Okay? Round two with positive reframing. And I'm not going to prompt this. I'm just going to say the prompts and move through it. Okay? Maybe I don't have to be perfect. What if my creativity flows naturally? I give myself permission to create without fear. I am safe to express myself fully. My creativity is valuable no matter what. I trust my creative process. I choose to create with ease and joy. I am free to share my art with confidence. Woohoo! We did it! You did that, and I know I feel better. How you feeling? Is it still at the same level of resistance from when you started? Because I feel like I was at a 6, and literally everything that I was feeling before is now gone, and I just feel like a little bit of tightness in my throat. Okay, so I would give that like a 2. So from a 6 to a 2, that's a dramatic shift for me. And I ain't gonna lie, I done did this a few times in recording this video, so that's probably why. But what about for you? If you feel even a little bit lighter, that is progress. That is a signal that this might work for you. If you have time, try to journal. Try to write down what came up for you. Try to write down why this might not be the right thing, why it might be the right thing, and how you might be able to use this in the future. And I challenge you the next time you go to create to try to walk through this EFT tapping process before you get into it and see if it helps and if it makes a difference. I am so grateful for you all. So grateful that you made it through this practice. And I will see y'all in the next video. Love you.